don't need a co-host. Thank you very much. Um, Welcome everybody. Oh, thank you so much for sharing the live. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you for tapping as well. And thank you for liking the live. So this is going to be a really quick live. I need to try and set up this thing properly. Oh, goodness. As per always, I never know how to do anything. So with this live. Look at my hair. It's been a long day at work today. I think I only sent maybe 4 emails all day today because I had interviews. I had meetings, interviews all day. So it was a very long day. I don't think I've done any proper work. It is work that I did, but not proper work in terms of um, sending emails, and my inbox is just getting larger and larger. And I have a quick story for you guys about one of my clients tonight as well. So, yeah. Okay, much better. The older you get, the more you realize that you need some things in your life. You need multivitamins, you need your glasses, you need a couple of things to be able to function normally. So, yes, um, you tend to need more things. I'm just typing stuff in Facebook. No, not Facebook. On YouTube. And I'm also live on Facebook as well. So it's always like I try to do like a conjoined live for for nearly all my platforms. I don't think I can do like a restream live. I think I should even try and do like an Instagram live and see if that one would even garner a couple of clients on there, or some people, or try and make that my page popular, because I don't know how to grow my page on Instagram. Instagram, for some weird reason, I can't advertise, I can't boost my channel, because the person I got to create my Instagram account, I don't know what the person did. To do on Instagram. So yes, everyone should please tap on the live so we can get more people in. Yes, I'm just trying to make sure that is at the beginning. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I haven't missed anybody's question. Oh, thank you so much. Hi, Gift. Gift is my best friend. Hi, Gift. I know I haven't come on this thing in like forever. Yeah. Thank you so much for everyone for coming. We're just waiting for more people to come into the live. Then we can start. It's going to be a short live like yesterday. Although I don't have a client, um, I don't have a client waiting for me, but I do have supporting statements that I need to finish. I've been very well, thank you. I've been very well. I know I have been AWOL. User code 192. Yes, you ask your question. Just let people come in. I've been fine. I've been on holiday as well. Was one of my really good friends' 40th. So my husband and I went for her birthday. This is my very dear friend, and we went for her birthday, and we went to a different country. We've never been to that country before. We've been meaning to go to that country. You know, when you go on holiday and you enjoy the place so much that you say that, I can see myself living here. And I think that country is one country I think I can see myself living. I think we started considering, and I'm not thinking, what will happen? Should I really think about relocating to another country? Bearing in mind that this will be my second country I've actually lived in. I came here to school to do my undergrad, and I studied human resources. Funny enough, so it's the second country I've lived fully. I've been on holidays to loads of countries, but I haven't lived there. Just maybe I've spent maybe a couple of, maybe I've said I've spent a couple of months in some places, but I haven't lived there. I'll tell everybody that my husband trapped me here. It wasn't my intention to ever live in the UK. It wasn't even my intention to actually come and school in the UK. My dad bribed me to come and school in the UK because I would have been happy if I went to school in Nigeria. Then my daddy bribed me and just said, you know what, just come and school. Then the bribe was every holiday you can come back to Nigeria. That's how he bribed me. So when we have our, I think the first holiday that we had was the Christmas holiday. Then that was the big major holiday. I went back to Nigeria. Then we had the Easter one. I went back to Nigeria. This is just first year. Then Easter. Then we had the summer holiday. I was in Nigeria. So like that every year, and I did 3 years consecutively. I did not miss it. I loved Nigeria so much that even me thinking about leaving, it was like I can't even wait to finish my undergrad. So finish undergrad, then I went to, it was like, just do your master's since you're here. And I said, no. When I finished my master's, then the UK was giving something like a 1 year visa where you could study. And visa stuff wasn't even a big issue at that time, anyways. So after university, I did that post study kind of I had that post study kind of thing where I worked for 1 year. I wasn't really doing anything serious, really, just doing bits and bob here and there. It wasn't a big deal. It was still, my dad really looked after us. I would say he really looked after my siblings and I. God rest his soul. He really looked after us. So even when I was working, he was still giving me my pocket money every month. So I don't even know what I was doing with all that money. Come to think about it, at that time, he was still giving me that money every month, and that's on top of my salary as well. So I'll collect the money, and he was still paying my rent. So I'm now thinking, what was I using all that money for? I could have invested that money if I had the sense that I had at this time. I should have invested that money. But anyways, that's all story for another day. But yeah, then we finished undergrad, did work for a year. Then I now said, oh, I needed to, what was I going to do after that? And I said, okay, let me just go and do my master's then. So I did my master's in something totally different. Then I found my way back to HR again. And that's how I've just been in HR for the last couple of years. So yes, that's where we are at. So we are where we are at now. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to everyone that is on the page at the moment. I don't know what's going on with YouTube people. Someone like them on YouTube, they would always ask questions. Let me try and go into my YouTube account. They would always ask questions. So, yeah. Let's see. Questions. Yeah. God rest. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. It passed away in 2018. 2018 was a very tough year for me. I lost my brother in March 2018. Okay, I had a baby in January 2018. My brother died in March 2018. And I think you could have seen that in terms of my peakness of what happens with my page in March. I wasn't really posting that much. Then my brother died in March 2018. Then June 2018, my dad also died. Then I went back to work in September 2018 for maternity leave. Then I lost my job in September 2018 because that role was a fixed term role. And after I finished maternity, they wanted to make that role permanent role. So I had to reapply for my role. And unfortunately, I just came back from maternity. I haven't been working, and they did the interview that same month. Bearing in mind, I had that whole loss and that whole thing that happened to me all throughout when I was on maternity. Then I didn't get my job. The person that was covering my maternity leave got the job. Then I got so angry that I'm like, okay, don't worry, that's fine. Then October, because they did the interview at end of September. I think I started middle of September, like 2 weeks after I got back into work. They did that interview and I didn't get that job. My job. That someone else was covering my maternity leave. Then by the next month, October, I got another job. And the funniest part was that I didn't just get another job, I got two bands higher job because I was like, F all of you. I'm going to show you that what's nonsense. So, and what even upset me the most was that they didn't even consider the fact that all what has happened, and I told them everything that was happening with me, with my family, and all that. They didn't even take that into consideration when it's a public sector job, anyways. I do understand and all that, but they didn't take that into consideration. That give her a bit of time to come back into work, acclimatize herself back into work, and not do the interview so quickly. But they didn't think about that. Not only did I get two bands higher job, I also got a payout because I was a fixed term contract role and I was already there for a couple of years. So because my role was now, I was now being made redundant because of the fact that I couldn't get a job, or my job was whatever happened. I'm trying to explain to you guys, because I've worked there for more than 2 years. I was entitled to redundancy because of that fixed term element of things. That's my job. I'm now being made redundant as a result of me not having a role anymore. Gave me a payout. And out of that payout was what I saved to be able to do a lot of things that have changed me and my family's life. So, in a way, 2018 didn't end badly for me at the end of the day. It ended up well because I got the payout, I got better job, I went to a different team, and I was able to excel more. And that was, I think, catapulted my progression in HR and in the public sector as well. So, yeah, it's been an amazing ride, I would say. So, yes, so sometimes rejections, which is the story I was going to say tonight, rejection is not all bad. And I think I also said that story yesterday as well, in terms of the rejection, my client that was put on the waiting list, and she's now before the end of I think less than a month or so, less than 2 months, I think about a month, she got offered the role. So, and she's going through that process of her checks and all that. She's gone back to Nigeria because she needs to get her stuff sorted out from Nigeria and all that. And they're going to be offering her sponsorship, and she's going to be able to move back with her husband. So, yes, it's not always bad. Rejection at the first time is not always bad, it's always good. And that's also another story that I will link up with regards to the interviews that I did today, because I was interviewing all day. When that was, I said at the beginning of this live that um I haven't really, maybe I sent like maybe 3 or 4 emails today throughout the whole day, and because I've been interviewing all day. The first round when we did that interview session, we were trying to get two people into that role. We invited 12 people, and out of that 12, we picked, kind of in a way, kind of a lot of back and forth, but we picked two people that we needed. So those two people, they've started going through the whole reference checks and all those checks and all that. And the rest of the people that, although we put them in the waiting list, just in case we didn't get people from that list, we sent them all rejection emails to say, unfortunately, even though they didn't actually realize they've actually been shortlisted, we sent them the unfortunate emails. So after we've done this whole recruitment process, and we've offered those two people the roles that was available, the one of the people that we gave the role just opted and rejected and just withdrew place. So we only have one person. So what did we do? Although that we didn't have, although we didn't have, we've already sent rejection emails. What I did was then go back to to the list of people that we already put on the reserve list, and called all of them again to say, I know you've just gotten an email from us to say, unfortunately, you're not successful in this role. You were actually put on the reserve list, and this is the situation now. What we would like to do is invite you for an interview if you're still interested in the role. And out of the people we had about maybe 8 people in that reserve list. And out of that 8 people, we were able to invite 6 people to come for interviews. And that's what has taken my whole day today. Because I was like, I wasn't going to do more than 6. It wasn't enough. And if you don't find anyone in that whole list, then we would go back out to interview and to recruitment, which we didn't even want to do again because I think we already had good candidates in that pile. Hence the reason why we put them in the what's it called, in the forgotten what that means, in the I've forgotten the word now, in that reserve, in the reserve list. So what we then did is call them and we invited them for interview and they came for interview. And I'm glad to say that we finally found somebody, which, although we've already shut the door on that person, we were able to offer that person a job now. That person would have actually thought, oh, that's the end of it. Oh, I've gotten the rejection and that's it. I called them, explained the situation. They could have had a big head to say, oh, yeah, fuck it. I shouldn't use bad words. This is live live stuff. They could have said, we don't want the job. What kind of, are you kind of messing me around? And the funniest thing about it is that this person that we're going to be offering this job to, no, I'm not going to say it. Should I say it? I can say it because I'm not mentioning the names. Is actually relocating, is already put in the works and all that to relocate to where we're based because the person thought, oh, yes, I think I'll have better opportunities and all that. So I think in terms of faith, in terms of opportunities, although they've said no, the same people that said no can actually come back and say yes. So I think you need to have that mindset, especially with the NHS. We don't like doing recruitment takes a long time. And if you're appointable, especially when you've gone for an interview, if you're appointable, but we don't have enough roles at that point in time, we can put you on the reserve list. And when you're put on the reserve list, it's about a year you're going to be on that reserve list. What that means is that next time that a role comes out within that team or within that organization, and they don't want to go through the whole stress of doing the recruitment, adverts, shortlisting, interviewing, that it takes weeks. They will just go to the reserve list and pick out people from that list that they can do the job, especially if it's a acute trust or something like that, and you've already applied for an acute role. Yeah, she's appointable and she's done very well. She has the skills, she has everything that we need. Yes, why not? They'll just call you up. Are you still interested? Yes, I'm still interested. No, I'm not more interested. I have a new job or blah, 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 blah. And you just start the whole process. You don't have to interview again. And that's the beauty of being on the reserve list. That's the beauty of being shortlisted and put in that pile of, yeah, maybe we'll call you for interview if we don't find the person we're looking for in the first round of interviews. So out of those 12 people, I wouldn't even say this person that we even interviewed today was the best person from that other list. What I said to my colleague today was, do you know what? The three people that if the people that we saw today were not good enough, I think I might still go back to that old list. And based on the interviews that we've done previously, although we've told them no, I still found, I think one person was still appointable from that list. And we would have just gone, called the person. That was what I was going to do because I wasn't going to do that advert again. We would have called the person and offered that person the job if that person was still interested. So that was what I was going to do. Is that same part of, is that person still appointable and all that? So yes. Yeah. Thank you everybody for the follow. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're on my live and you're not yet following me, I would like you to please follow me. I would appreciate that a lot. I would really appreciate that if you please follow me because I need to be able to put my links on my I need to be able to put my links on my YouTube channel. So let's mute this one. So yes. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so let me go through the questions. Anyone had some questions? Let me see. So delay is not denial, guys. Shaika asked, "Do I mentor?" Yes, I mentor. I do mentor, and if you want to learn about the mentorship and what that entails, it's on my Stanstore. So if you need the link to that, just send me a message on here, and I would pick it up, and I'll send you the link to that. Would you recommend the NHS support worker in police custody? I don't understand that question, Maya. Would you recommend the NHS support worker in police custody? What does that mean? Could you explain yourself a bit more so I can understand what you're trying to ask? Thank you, everyone. Use a code. You can ask your question now. Ask your question, or do you want to come up? Because that's a good thing about having this live on here. I can answer your questions live because what I say when I come on TikTok live or YouTube live, or speaking more TikTok, is that um, it's a free one-to-one um, it's a free one-to-one session, I would say. So if you have a question and you want to come up, especially on TikTok, you can come up and I'll be able to answer your question. Yeah. So yes. So, yeah. So I don't think user code to come up. Just do the request to ask to come up and I would respond. How do I do that? Oh my goodness. Tell me. I'm very unversed in um okay. I think I found it. I found it. Ah, sometimes I don't know how to use this TikTok. I need to really sit down and learn how to use this TikTok. Hi, user code. Good evening. Oh, I don't know why I
I'm
thought
happy
you
to
were.
see you here again.
Oh, thank you. I know I've been away for a bit. It's just been I've been really busy. Not too busy. Don't let me pick up myself too much, but I've been busy. It's not just YouTube and TikTok and my clients. It's also with live. I've traveled a bit as well in the last month. It's as if I've been around. But I think I'm fully back now. I'm going anywhere in the next couple of months. I think I'm fully back. I think I'm ready to really pay more attention to you guys more in this space and give you a bit more time. And I'm trying to restructure myself as well. So hopefully you see more of me. So how can I help you?
Okay, thank you very much for saying that. So, my question is, first of all, in NHS, what are the essence of this fixed employment? Maybe for 12 months, you'll be there for 12 months. At the end of it, what will be the fate of the person? Maybe any opportunity. Once it's maybe past 12 months, your employment profile ended. Like, because
So there are so many implications to that. And because I'm in management, I understand the reasoning as to why. Depending on the role, will determine if that role would be a permanent role. So, okay, let me try and explain to you. In each team now, you can say in this team, we have budgeted 5 people to work in that role. So we have 5 full-time workers in this role because of how we've kind of mapped the role. And we would only need 5 people to work in this role. Maybe for some reason the role changes or this changes or they have a special project. They might say, okay, we'll need somebody to do that extra work that we have. That extra work, it should really take that person 1 year to kind of mop up things. So, for example, in HR team now, we may have like loads of files that we need to save and all that kind of thing. So we now look at it and say, okay, saving all these files should really take, if somebody works on it Friday, 9 to 5, they would have done the analysis of how long it would take someone to be able to do that job. And only going to take the person 1 year to do that job. And I said, okay, let's try to look for money from somewhere to pay, get that money to pay this person that's money for 1 year. And that's only the amount of money that we can write to the finance team or the board. So we need this extra money to be able to do this certain project. In most cases, especially for the NHS, is for projects that you do all those fixed term contracts for. They only have money for that exact period of time. If they have money for only 6 months, they wouldn't put the person on for 9 months. Because where are they going to get that money from? They don't have the budget, and everything has to go through HR, everything has to go through finance to be able to sign off on putting people into teams. So the reason for the fixed term contracts mostly is about budgeting, is about finances. If they don't have the money to pay for the person for the next year, they wouldn't be able to sign up fully to make that person permanent because that person, you don't have the budget. So that's why every April we get money. And that's what is based on what you've submitted from the previous year. If you need more people to be able to do the work in your team, you would budget for 6 people, or you budget for more than the amount of people that you have. If they don't have the money to be able to say, okay, we can only fund this for this year. Next year, we don't know if we're going to have enough money to fund the person. And that's where that whole fixed term contract things comes in. So the fate for that person in most cases is you would have known from the beginning that this role is only meant to be budgeted for 1 year. They would have made it clear to you, they should make it clear to you that this role is only meant to be done for 1 year. After the year, either you try yourself to find a job. No, 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 out. Out. Either sorry about that. Either you either you find a job yourself, or they extend it if they have more money to pay for you to be able to do it the next year, or what's good. Either you find a job or they have to let you go. Those are the three different options that they have in that space. And one thing that most people don't realize is that if you have NHS service and you've worked for the NHS for more than 2 years, you're entitled to redundancy if you're in a fixed role, irrespective of if that role was your irrespective of if that role was just advertised for 1 year. That's why most times when you're going to be when a team is trying to get someone in for 1 year, for like sometimes we'll try to make them do it for a secondment because of the um redundancy payment attached to it. Looking at it in terms of approving that fixed term contract, I need to tell them, look, there might be redundancy payments attached to this, especially if you can get someone that has 10, 15 years service coming for a 1 year role. You're going to pay 50 years of redundancy that person when that person finishes that role. So you have to put that at the back of your mind. And that's why if you're coming from a different NHS organization, they will try as much as possible to get you to change that fixed term contract to a loan or secondment for them not to be able to pay that redundancy allowance. So that's the implications of fixed term contracts for people, or sorry, for organizations. That's why.
Oh, oh, okay. Thank you for that explanation. Now I get it.
Yeah.
Because I got one of the offer for 12 months,
Okay.
and that was it. I got the offer in March.
Yeah.
I think in February.
Yeah.
I'm yet to start because I don't know. It's been 2 months now. I don't know what they are checking, but they said I'm at the final stage of doing the immunization clearance.
Oh,
Like
okay.
that.
Yes, depending on where you're going to be working, all those things need to be done, especially if you don't have evidence that you've done all this immunization. A lot of trust would insist that you redo them to get all those immunization you need to get it. If you're going to be patient facing, to protect yourself and to protect the patients, you need to get your immunization checks and immunization, everything on top of everything. You need to do it and provide those certificates, and then for them to have that assurance to provide that certificate. Although you got the role in February, the 12 months would not start to count until you start the job.
Okay.
So, yes, so even though the money is from whenever the role is, money doesn't start to count until that contract starts. As that person starts actively working in that team, the money doesn't start to count onto them. So you shouldn't worry that that means, oh, you feel like you're like 2 months have gone. No, your 12 months is still your 12 months.
But because some people, if I ask them that how long does it take, to get a start date, some will say a maximum of 2 months. I've never seen someone say, it takes longer than that, and all of that. So I just wondering why it's taking so much time. I've not even heard anything about that immunization plans or whatever. And HR is not really giving feedback.
Depends on how responsive the HR team is and how big that trust is as well. Because you need to realize that the HR recruitment team, they are working on very tight budget, tight deadlines. So because they're waiting on your immunization stuff, I'm not sure if you've gone to do the immunization and they have to wait for occupational health to send them the results as well. And there's always like a backlog with immunization with occupational health. Even getting an appointment sometimes might take a couple of weeks with occupational health. So that might affect the timeline for when you're going to start. The trust, depending on the trust that you go, some trusts are very responsive. Like my new trust, I think their recruitment process is one of the most seamless one I've ever experienced before in my life. It was so seamless, so responsive. That team is so small, but they are one of the most efficient recruitment team ever. But going to another trust, they are so slow. They take their time, and because of the fact that it might be in an acute organization, when I worked in an acute trust, it took me a while. I think I got the job. I think I just explained that when I got the job in October. I also didn't start till like towards the end of December. And there was another one that I got the job maybe around maybe April. I didn't start until like maybe September. And that was because I had to do clearance. I had to do very high security clearance, SC clearance and all that for that role. And also because I needed to do occupational health as well because I was going to be going into some areas that were patient facing. So I needed to have all my immunization done. And getting an appointment with occupational health did take some time, and that affected my staffing. I didn't bother because I was already currently in a job. So it was until when all this stuff was done before I then handed in my resignation. Because God forbid anything happens and I don't pass reference checks, I wouldn't have gone to hand in my resignation. And in most cases, sometimes HR will say, "I'm sorry, we can't rescind the resignation, and you resigned," which is one thing that one of my managers cornered me yesterday to ask me about something similar that someone got a job somewhere and she's handed in a resignation, and now she's going to come back to say, oh, she doesn't want to hand in a resignation anymore. Then the manager then says to me that, is it okay if I tell her no, that I'm sorry, we've already put out the job for adverts, we're going to be interviewing next week. And I'm sorry, it's too late now because you've left it so long and we've put in all these processes. And I said, yes, to actually say no. Um, for them to recall the reference. Sorry. Can I please have the laptop charger? I need to check my laptop. I don't know what I'm doing. Hello? Who is there? Can I please have the laptop charger? Thank you. I didn't know you didn't answer. Thank you. Sorry, children. Yes. Yeah. So yes, I hope I've been able to answer your question. What I would suggest for you to do is contact HR tomorrow and just ask them where are they with your process and when do you envision to be starting? Or even yeah,
Call them on phone.
yes, call them on phone, email them as well. And if you know the recruiting manager, who your manager is going to be, if you have his number or a number, or if you have their email address, email them as well to find out what's going on. Yeah, you
Because
can
I've not gotten any dates yet for the
start there.
operation. Yeah,
for the occupational, that's what I said to you, that it might be occupational health that is delaying in terms of they are so backed up that they don't have any appointments at the moment. And that's what's causing the delay. But if you're not saying anything and you're not even chasing, they'll be like, oh, yeah, maybe she has a job that she's doing and there's no problem in that sense. But if you call them and just let them know that I'm still waiting to hear back from occupational health, and if and I haven't heard anything from them, and the fact that you're not actually chasing as well means that, oh, maybe you're not really interested, or you're currently having another job that you're doing or something like that. Hence the reason why you don't need to chase. And they'll get to you when they get to you, and you move to that new role when you move to that new role. But what I want you to do is try as much as possible to actually contact them to see if there's any blockers or anything that you can do to take out the blockers from your that is delaying you. Yeah.
I wanted to do that, but I was not so sure. I believe that at least you can still email them, but like calling, I'm not so sure about it.
So you've been given a job, you've been offered a place, you can call them to find out. And sometimes it's always better to call than email because your email will probably get lost in the crowd of emails of things that they're doing. It's very busy. If it's a big trust, depending on what the trust is, if it's a big trust, I'm sure that recruitment team is going through a lot in terms of the recruitment process. That they have the numbers of people that they're trying to onboard at the same time as you. It's a lot. So that might be another reason. Because if you're not chasing them, is anybody that is chasing me that I'll remember to go and check up on their case? You've not chased me for the last couple of months. Your manager maybe as well hasn't chased as well to find out what's going on, why is it taking so long. Everybody's just chilling. You would be put at the back of the queue. To them, it's not an urgent thing. Yes. Oh, Daisy just told you to call them. You can call them. There's nothing wrong. It speeds up the process. Trust me. Call them. Call them tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Okay. Anybody else has another question? Um, what is okay. Okay. Hi.
Hi,
Good evening.
thank you for accepting my request.
It's all
Thank
right.
you for coming live this evening.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for being here as well. I think you've been one of the first people that actually stayed on.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
My question is, um, can dependents get sponsorship on band three, or what band would you advise that they should follow in terms of this immigration law and their salary threshold? Because it's a bit confusing to me at this point, and coming from like the city, it's quite different. So
Mm.
I'm just trying to see how to navigate around the immigration. So what would you think?
Okay, I'm not an immigration lawyer or immigration specialist. So whatever I say to you is based on the information that I've gotten from being out there and working with the recruitment team and all that. So let's bear that in mind. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So with regards to the salary threshold, from April they've increased the salary threshold for employees to about 25,000 and a bit. If you're a dependent and you want to now be the main applicant, depending on your role, so if you're in the healthcare space, you can what's it called, apply for a job and try and get a role that will be sponsored. a lot of trust at the moment. We are flush for cash. This is what May. We're still flush for cash. We've just requested new sponsor COS from the government. So we have, most trusts should have a lot at this point in time because money just entered and, big spender kind of something that we are still doing at this point in time. We're a bit more generous in terms of the sponsorship COS that we're giving to people for a lot of trusts. Speaking for my trust, I know that we're a bit more lax and okay, we're not still quite very stringent on how many we got the same number that we got last year. So we're still kind of okay, we're still good, still decisive, we're still being a bit decisive, we're still a bit more flexible than we were by December last year. So depending on the role, if you're going for healthcare roles, yes, definitely I would say a couple of trusts would offer sponsorship. But I would suggest for you to try and go for the higher roles so that like the band fours, where more senior roles, more advanced roles in that healthcare space. But if you're going for more administrative roles, I know I did a video on my YouTube channel where I talked about the NHS offering sponsorship to administrative roles and non-clinical roles. With those kind of roles, they have to be very specialist roles, so like your medical secretary and some IT roles and things like that. They would give sponsorship from band fours and above. Mostly the RKF6 roles, yes, those ones are a bit more easier for you to find sponsorship within the NHS. And those ones are more attractive to for us to say, okay, yes, we'll offer sponsorship. But there are some roles that clearly and categorically say that they're not going to offer that sponsorship for those roles that are like administrative non-clinical roles. But your best bet within the NHS is more clinical roles. And depending on where you're thinking and depending on where you're based, I think I need to do a new video about Scotland now. Scotland are a bit more flush with money within their NHS for more clinical roles, for RKF, maybe for band fives in some roles, administrative roles within NHS Scotland, they're giving sponsorships. So band five, band sixes, band sevens, definitely more within the NHS Scotland that we give sponsorship to in those regions. Ireland, yeah, more a bit different in terms of how they do things there for Ireland, and in terms of what's it called, clinical roles, more generous in Ireland as well. Once you're able to pass and do the equivalence in terms of their certifications and all that, it's still quite lucrative for is it lucrative in the word for people to try and get into those places. So yes, so depending on what your specialty is, will determine if you would be better off looking at um, the band fours. Stay within that band four. There are loads of band threes out there now. So I would suggest more band four roles for you to apply to.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
That question.
Okay. You're welcome. I think there was one more person there. Um, 'Cause I didn't want to disconnect everybody because it says disconnects all, and I don't get disconnect all. So probably when I finish this one, I'll disconnect everybody. But I didn't want to disconnect everybody. I mean, disconnect all, and then everyone goes away. So yeah, because I'm not the best with this YouTube. No, this is on TikTok. I don't know. My YouTube people are so quiet this evening, but they're watching. Hi, times of I'm not sure what the full name is. Times.
Hi,
Hi.
Rachel Ali. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good to see you on TikTok.
Yeah, thank you. I know.
It's good to see you on TikTok. You have answered the lady. Is it talking about system? I just wanted to
Yeah.
ask points if you don't mind.
No, please.
Yeah. So I wanted, as you already said, I'll add is the most, as you said, it's lack of funding, especially in the research roles.
Mm.
Most research roles are fixed term, and because if the sponsor, whatever they are doing, they can't further come with the cut off the sponsorship. But for us who want to go into entry level roles, your best bet also is the fixed term, especially for first time, how do we call it, experience with NHS. That's what I've realized is the fixed term role. Although it's dicey because and
It ends.
it's not yet. That's what now I just don't. It's supposed to be in October, but now it's ended. And they give you the termination letter. It's not an easy thing.
So it was
But
meant, sorry, did you say it was meant to end in October and they ended it early?
yeah, because we worked so hard,
Ah,
we have whatever information they needed, and so
overachievers.
yes.
You should have slowed down.
The worth of experience,
Mm,
the worth of experience and exposure is enormous.
mm.
I should be crying now, but I think that the worth of experience
Oh.
I've gotten, anytime I apply, I have no secretary, I
Woo!
can't even go. I can't. It's not that, but I can't.
So
And
yeah, now
then
I love when my clients or people that I speak to have that decision of should I do this, should I not do this, should I do this, should I not do this? Let me see which one I'm gonna go. But if
what is even amazing
mm,
comes in the reserve list. Once upon a time, 25, I had a reserve list from Royal.
mhm,
And then when they said they, unfortunately, very good, but NHS already is the how do we trust also
yeah,
applied
mm,
or they have offered it to her,
yeah.
but they put me on the reserve list. I cried my heart out that
Oh,
day. And then I asked them how long. They said, as you said, it's for 1 year.
yeah,
If any other roles comes in, then they give it to you.
yeah.
Fair enough. But I learned one thing from there. I never got any response in the year past.
Oh,
Can you imagine that with this situation that I've applied?
mm,
I applied recently. One of them just said that it was April I went.
mm,
Then they said, oh, in fact, it was my first remote interviews because mostly I have to travel.
yeah.
I was exhausted all means. Then this remote one came out and said, they called and said, how do you think you performed? I said, I know I performed very well.
Oh, good.
It's just one question. I didn't talk about escalation.
Mm,
And I know they wanted, it's research, so they wanted to hear adverse events. And I beat myself up and couldn't even sleep because I couldn't use the word adverse event.
mm,
So I did very well. Just that unfortunately, somebody at the same time,
oh,
yeah. But if I don't mind, they'll put you on the
is
reserve
it?
list.
You're
What
like,
do you
oh.
think? So I said, how long? Because I'm in pepper already. I said, how long is that? They said, oh, just give us.
Oh,
My take 2 weeks, they just go to about
that's
to
so
see.
good.
So my point is that a lot.
Mm.
I'll be sharing my
Experience.
experience so far,
Mm.
but I just want to be on a good platform before I can talk about it.
No, no, no. Please come
What
back. Please come back because I think I've given a brief history about myself, and I think I've done some things on YouTube. I have a lot of videos on YouTube. You guys should go and watch.
You have forgotten about me. I follow you a lot.
Thank you. I'm just telling people that are on here now that I have a lot of videos. I work in HR.
I've sent your videos to a lot of people.
Wow, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I have a lot of silent watchers and people that share my videos. When I see that, oh, shared, I'm like, oh
I
wow.
show a lot of videos to people because you are the best person they could come out to study with.
Oh,
I mean, I
thank you.
can come out to test something like that just with my experience, but I will always recommend you and one other person.
Oh,
You are
thank you.
absolutely the best people to do this. And so it's a wealth of knowledge we are all tapping. We are all improving ourselves in things.
Thank you so
So just
much.
to encourage people, I always say that it's a big risk to really go for fixed term,
Yes.
but when you have NHS experience, you stand tall. even if it's 3 for 6 months, you stand for. When you have NHS experience, you
Mm.
stand for. And then for the lady going for the fixed, work hard.
Mm.
Work hard. My team adores me. My manager adores me. In fact, they wish to create a system.
Yes.
They have. Even I have an interview next week in the same trust.
Oh
Although
wow.
I'm even have another offer outside because they can't afford to let me go. Yeah, so it's such. Just do your best.
Mm.
Just do your best wherever you find yourself, and then let's take advantage of this reserve list and the fixed term. Although it's challenging, I mean, if you don't work yourself out to really put in application,
Mm.
because I just dedicated 1 month
Mm.
to do that. And this, I'm expecting more interviews to come.
Mm.
I'll get about 12.
Oh wow.
And I can't go. I can't go. I
Mm.
have one on Monday, Tuesday. I can't go.
Oh
I don't
wow.
even know how to respond to them to tell them that I cannot go. I'm going to request for remote. I know
Yes.
now, yes. Now, just even that's my main question. Why is that now? You guys are saying that there is no other interview date.
Because
Now,
do you know how busy people are? I just told you today that I
I
interviewed
know.
all day. I have only sent maybe four, I've only sent like maybe 4 emails today. It takes up your whole day. Tomorrow when I'm not even going into work tomorrow. I still have to meet with my team. We've done a bit of what's it called? Of scoring and all that. I think we know who we're gonna pick. We're still gonna talk about that. That might take another 1 or 2 hours to decide because we have to go through all everybody's stuff and discuss everybody again. It takes a lot of time. And try especially for people that are clinical roles or have certain things that they do that are very vital, they don't always have time, especially like nurses. Do you know how, even when you're having meetings, I've had meetings with heads of teams and I'm working with them in the ward where I'm writing and I'm walking along. They're like, Temi, hold on 1 minute. I need to attend to this in the middle of my meeting. That is why most times when we fix a date, we try and say that's the only date we can give. I'm sorry we cannot give another date because of the time it takes for us to actually even plan those dates. It's always the timing and the timeline for us, and is the deadline and trying to just fit everything into that day because we know once we're doing everything that day, I know okay tomorrow I know I'm going to be in serious trouble with my work and I have to do stuff like today in the middle of our interview, we have to send some stuff to ACAS. We needed to put the pack together. Our deadline I think is tomorrow, and we have to put the pack together. And because one of the managers was just being annoying and did not send the stuff, we had to read it, proofread it, and all that to be able to put the pack to send to ACAS because someone wants to take us to tribunal. They want £150,000 from us. So, so we need to respond to them on time. And they said because it sent the email to a manager that was on holiday, and we didn't see the email on time, and ACAS don't really care really. So we are nearly at the deadline point, and we need to make sure that we have all the information to be able to send to ACAS. So yes, it's the timing, hence the reason why. But now you're in a very unique position. Request for those, and at least those ones that you request for remote interviews, some of them will say yes. So at least you know you don't have to burn your cash to go for those interviews. And then you'll be able to say, okay, yes, I can do those ones. I kind of plan myself around those dates. And the one that will say no, then you have to really be decisive to say, oh, do I really want this trust? Go and read up about the trust. Go to Glassdoor and see what people are saying about that trust. That might help you in your decision. And if you're in a situation that you need sponsorship or don't need sponsorship, that might also help you in tailoring your decision as to which one do I really want to go? Which one do I really want to go to? What are that area that you're thinking about going into? What is the news about that area? And what is the news about that area? And if it's something that you want to kind of invest your time in and invest your process in. You did say about the fixed term contract. With fixed term contract is amazing because with fixed term contract, that's how I've been able to get a lot of experience within different sectors within the NHS. jumping from one place to the other, jumping from one place to the other. It just helps you build your wealth of knowledge. How to do things in one NHS trust will be different from how to do things in other NHS trusts. And I've seen, maybe, especially in my role, anyways, I've seen that firsthand in how we manage grievances and disciplinaries and all that kind of stuff, especially for those ER sides of things. It's different in each trust, and how they manage stuff is important, and it helps your thinking, right? Broadens your horizon, and you make friends. And these are lifelong friends. The NHS, I always say to people, is a tree with different branches. We're all joined in the hip. We're all joined from the same tree. So having friends in different places is an advantage as well. Yeah, and you saying that your team, if they could keep you, they would keep you. And especially if you work very hard, like you said, manager will try and say, "Oh, I have a friend that is trying to recruit for someone in this team, maybe in the same trust, maybe outside the trust, and we'll just recommend you." I said, "Oh, yeah." So the NHS is an amazing place to, and once you get into the NHS, that is the ticket. Once you get in the first time, it's easy for you to start jumping around. It's much easier because you now understand the process, you now understand how to make those applications, you now understand how the whole system works. You're now one of us.
Yeah. And for me, because having the opportunity to be in a team that's also interviewed for others, part of my team, and then it came in November
Yeah.
before I February there was something for my sis because she was ready.
Yeah.
Other people came from outside. On 6th
Yeah.
within November 2. Can you imagine February?
I've done an interview for someone. She was a band 4 and she got a band 7 role.
So beautiful.
Yeah. That jump was one of the biggest jumps I've seen ever. 47. I think that's one of the biggest ones I've seen. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. If you are the best on the day, you get the job.
Withdrawing from those things I have doesn't have any implication anyway.
It doesn't, but we would know your name. At the end of the day, we would know your name and say, "Oh, he's back."
Because I can go for all of them.
Yeah.
So I will use the request for remote as an excuse to see.
Yes.
Because definitely they will not give me the remote.
They
So
might.
like
You'll be
that.
surprised. They might. Depends on how long they've been trying to get
Then
that.
you find someone.
Yes. That
I
might
know
be.
because this is clinical research.
Mhm.
Because anyway, it's funny.
So we might be more flexible in terms of, oh, this person only wants remote. Let's see, let's try and accommodate that person. And this person might be really good, and we might lose out on such an amazing person just because we're not trying to be flexible. I have like there's some clinical roles that I've interviewed for people, as in been on the interview panel. There's some clinical roles, especially the really tough, like some band 5 specialist role like that, and all those kind of ones. Pediatry, depending on the roles that we're doing. We're a bit more flexible because it's not everyone that goes for those roles.
Yeah.
So when somebody requests, even though I like to do testing, I love my testing. Even I would still try and incorporate the testing as much as possible into that interview. Or I would still try and make allowances. If because you are going to do a remote interview for you and the test that I'm going to perform would have needed you to be physically present, I would have to change it for everybody. Or if I'm unable to change it for everybody, I might just cancel testing and hope for the best and pray that God let this person that is coming into my team, into this team, be the right person, because we've had some questionable hires that I've had to insert myself into recruitment. So yeah. So yes.
All right, thank you. I think one of my references, they just got back, they can go back to me. I think one of my references, I didn't put it in there. If you have a list of references, you escape you.
Mhm.
but I emailed it to them. Is that okay?
That's fine
All right.
because we
Okay.
try to cover each of the gaps. So even if it's like a 1 month gap, you need to really explain to us what happened within that 1 month. So we kind of block that gap. Like, if you don't block that
I
gap,
think that HR was confused because she didn't make mention of what I don't know. She makes everything up, so I have to email her to really state what it is.
yeah,
Already all stated my reason for my gaps, either training or
yeah,
relocation or something.
yeah.
She got everything wrong. So I emailed her, but I didn't hear anything. I'm not. I've just giving them up to Monday. So if I don't hear anything Monday, then what?
You say you're doing references, right? That means you have another job. You've been offered a job.
You didn't understand. The reserve have already offered me.
Okay. And you're still going for interviews.
That is what I was telling you. I have six to go.
I know you have six. So what I thought was that
I
you,
even
out
have
of
those
this six
days.
was
But I did six are days. Because in London, I can't go to London. That's what I'm saying. I'll ask for I can go to Royal Maston again. There is one in
what a
Cardiff.
what
And
a
then
beautiful dilemma to have.
Birmingham. And yeah, because I did massive application for 1 month, I know more will be coming because now they have closed that application.
Yeah.
So they are now, yeah. What I had today, I just checked that they closed it on the 6th, which was yesterday. That's why they said to me right today. So they will be coming. And I really, I'm really confused because even the one that 20 days,
Yeah.
it's fun. So I think, but because it's not,
Yeah.
but London is expensive. So
Yeah. But if you find the right place to live, it's expensive, but there are more opportunities. That's the thing you need to look at.
yeah, that is it. That is it. So if I'm in a dilemma, seriously.
I love when you need to bring out a paper and write
Yeah,
opportunities, advantages, disadvantages, advantages, and that would help you make up your mind in terms of deciding where you're going to move to.
it's not easy
I
because
know it's a beautiful situation to be in. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. It's a beautiful situation to be in. That is
thanks
what
for
we
the
want to
information.
hear. That is what we want to hear. And I think that kind of takes me into what I really wanted to talk about. I didn't have even been on this live for how long now? Over an hour, and I've not actually talked about what I wanted to talk about. What I really wanted to talk about today was the masterclass I was going to be having on the 16th of May. It's going to be a masterclass that kind of gives people an understanding of how to apply into the NHS from setting up your profile to going for your interview. Tips and tricks, what to look out for, what the recruiting manager is asking, how to write a perfect supporting statement, how to tailor that job, not just the supporting information, also the previous experience, how to ensure that it matches properly to the role that you're applying to. And when it comes to the interview, how to sit and list and answer those interview questions and ensure that you are picked for for the job that you applied for. This masterclass is going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours. That is jam packed. So you would also get at the end of this masterclass some bonuses at things as well. So if you're interested in the masterclass, I will put the link in my send me an email because I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet on my TikTok. I can't um I can't put in links, but if you send me a message, I will send you the link to the masterclass to book your masterclass. I've already said I'm not going to hide the prices for things so that people know upfront if it's something that they would be able to afford or not. The price of the masterclass, because I've discounted the price, this is going to be my first masterclass. So I'm discounting this price for people. It's going to be £80, but the price is going to, in most cases, double after we've done a couple of master classes. So I would want you guys to be one of the first people that would attend this master class. If you, I think a couple of weeks ago, I went to do like a mini introduction to this masterclass on Mimat's channel on TikTok here. And that masterclass, I think it was kind of like a mini, kind of like a nearly an hour masterclass, really, kind of explaining things to people from start to finish, kind of giving like a taste of what my masterclass is. That masterclass that it wasn't even a masterclass, it was just like a brief introduction to the masterclass, was even about an hour. So you can imagine how long I spoke for on that Mimat's channel. And this masterclass is even more in depth. I've structured it perfectly, taking from one step to the other to give you a very rounded understanding. Because what I'm trying to go away from is fishing for you. I don't want to give you the fish anymore. I want to teach you how to fish for you to be fast and able to do your supporting statement, to write the perfect application from start to finish yourself without actually needing anybody to help you write it. So that's what I'm trying to do. At the back of my mind, I'm now thinking a couple of people, even people that have like established pages, even more pages more popular than me, are telling me, are coming to me to say, "Oh, do I offer master classes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do offer master classes," but I'm like, "I've gone to your page. You have like loads and loads of clients. You even charge more than me, and you're not actually even HR, and they have more followers than me." And I think part of it is my fault for not being out there. I think what I need to start doing is posting a lot of my testimonials on YouTube, on TikTok, especially to show people that okay, if you do spend your money with me, you are guaranteed to at least be shortlisted and go for those interviews. I've realized that I've started even having clients that are not even nurses anymore. I'm actually started drawing clients that are even doctors now. My interview session that I did yesterday was for a doctor, and that's not my first doctor. What's it called? That's not my first doctor client. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping, I'm praying that she gets the job. She was quite nervous and all that, so I'm really hoping that she gets that job.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So I'm not only even coaching nurses now, I'm coaching doctors for interview sessions. So yes, if you know a doctor that needs help with their interview sessions, definitely, because I do medical as well. In
Will
terms
you
I
do that doctor's interview to chat? It
um
would be good to have that on
yeah,
every
I think I should add it as well because I've started
No,
having
but you don't
clients that
have
are
but you
doctors.
don't have that you don't have that on your chart.
No, I don't. So because I think it was one of my friends that she was doing the MRCP. I'm sure people that doctors would know what that is. And there's a communication bit of things that they need to go interview people and all that. And I've walked it through, and a couple of her friends, I've walked them through that process of that communication section and how I can hear what they're saying and giving them pointers as to what I feel that they would need to say in those kind of sessions. So yes, I think I need to add that to my profile now. Doctor,
That
yeah,
so
the doctor sessions as well. So yes, so that masterclass, this one is it's even though I kind of coined it for clinical staff, I think it's transferable for non-clinical staff as well. So it's going to be really jam-packed. It's going to be really informative. It's going to really help, especially international nurses and international people that don't understand the NHS landscape. Excuse me.
yeah. My first thing that prompted me to follow you on YouTube was from the NHS speaking.
Oh,
You had a video on NHS.
yeah,
Yeah, even at that time I wasn't in NHS, but I just wanted to understand.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
And I think those my earlier videos, I really wanted to break down all that section of what it really means to come into the NHS. Because I think I also broke down at some point as well how we score during
yeah,
interviews as well. Because coming from someone that works in HR, these are the things that I do on a regular basis. And I want people to
if
understand.
people just listen to your
Yeah.
videos, that's even enough.
And I think what hurts me the most is the fact that there's so many people on this YouTube internet space that they don't actually work in any. They don't even, firstly, they don't work in NHS. Secondly, they don't work in HR, so they don't really understand the intricacies. Thirdly, they've never sat on an interview panel before, but they've just been lucky to
Yeah,
understand
myself, I've been lucky. When I'm settled, I'll
Yeah.
start teaching with my own
Have you
experience.
seen? Have you seen? So that's what it is. They've just been
Yeah,
lucky to be able to, but some of them just spill loads of
they have
lies. And
it's
and
sad.
when I watch their channels, and I'm like, I don't want to be like one of those keyboard warriors that will just say you're a liar, you're a this. Even though
Honestly,
some
there are
people,
two people who stand out to you, and I just photographer. She's good.
oh yes, I
She
know her. I
always.
actually follow her
I
as
have
well.
worked at one to one with her.
Mm,
My this current job,
yeah.
it was two. My one to one was with her.
Mm,
Yeah, she's good. You and her, I share your videos. When
yeah.
people are disturbing, because when people really know you and want to really teach them, they don't take it serious.
Mm,
So for me not to go to the hassle of teaching them and even doing it for them, they
mm.
don't really
They
appreciate it.
don't. And I
So
wait.
I rather take your video and take and I just photograph it and send it to them and I tell them follow this series, follow this series. Because even when I write, I've done applications for people, but they don't appreciate until you tax them or you pay, you let them pay. Even that they still don't.
And that is the thing. For years, I used to do this for people for years because I've always worked in HR and I've always worked in the NHS civil service as well for a couple of years as well. I used to help people, not just with NHS applications as well, interview prep, reading of contracts, employee
Wow.
relations stuff. I used to help them hours of my time. Wasn't until last year my husband was like, why are you not charging people for this? And the sad part is like some of them will say, oh, thank you, especially the ones that I help them get money when they've been either been dismissed, not been dismissed properly, or something has happened to them with their job and they ended up getting some money. And we kind of helped. I kind of helped at the beginning stages, but at the end of the day, they will need lawyers for them to be able to, for the organization to be able to sign off on those things, which is fair enough, yes, and they will have to pay those lawyers for that service. But at the end of the day, they will
Should
then
have
say,
put a complaint on it. They will never say anything.
some of them would, they will say thank you, and that is just a thank you with words. They will never say thank you with monetary offers. Never. Even up to recently, I helped my friend's sisters, and I did tell her that I do charge for this service, but I didn't know what to charge her because it's my friend's sister and all that. I do charge, and you know,
You think that she will sit back and even have a thought.
she did not. And this was even up to recently. This was sometime, was it this year or last year? That's how, yeah.
Time. Another time she
And
will come back.
oh, I've not. I think I asked her once that,
Yeah.
oh, how far and all that, and she was like, oh, sis, tell me. I'm like, yeah, you think in your head, based on how much you collected from these people,
Yeah.
think in your head how much you would be
Maybe
appropriate
10% will be okay.
to give to me. And she was like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Until today, what's today? May? Wait, May. I'm still waiting. And I said to my husband, I'm not going to call her. When next I see her sister, I said I'm not going to call her sister. When next I see her
Oh,
sister, I'm going
it's
to mention
your
it.
value. You stand out.
Oh,
So just keep on working. You stand out.
yeah. So
Keep on what you are
so
doing.
the so that's why I just said, you know what, I'm not. I still go above and beyond for a couple of people. Yes, I still go above and beyond, but you would pay me for my time now. I think
Yeah.
I've not. I think I need to take away sentiment, which I'm not a very good businesswoman about doing with this whole business stuff. I might tell you, oh, I'm only going to do the interview session is 2 hours for you talking and all that, and I would do my own bits, at least 30 minutes for the whole session or 1 hour for the whole session added onto that. Sometimes I'm doing 4 hours. Sometimes, oh yeah, don't worry about the time. We'll do 2 hours one session, we'll do another 2 hours another session kind of thing. Because I'm quite passionate. I love interviewing. That's why most times when they call me for interviewing, I always say yes. Which most times I'm doing it selfishly because I'm trying to own my own skills, improve my skills, especially for interviews and knowing kind of questions and how the managers think and all that. I'm doing it selfishly, but I'm also helping the management as well. So yes, both of us are winning at the same time. So, yeah. I did say I wasn't going to spend long. I have work to do. I have work to do. Over
Thank
here,
you. Thank
over
you
one
so
hour.
much.
I'm here over 1 hour. So yes, I just wanted to just plug the masterclass because I want to get in as much people as possible to that masterclass. I think I started putting up stuff on TikTok now about the masterclass. I'll start putting up more stuff about the masterclass.
I think you were here yesterday. I was just watching.
Yes, I was here yesterday. I think it was just before I
I was
went
on
for
the
my.
background. I just said I won't say anything. Then I saw it.
Yeah, I'm going to try and start coming every day till I do this masterclass because I need customers to come and do the masterclass and test the masterclass and make sure that it is enough. There would be a couple of things that people would get at the end of the masterclass. So you would get my supporting statement template. You will get 30 NHS interview questions that cuts across all the areas that's areas that might come out during an interview for clinical roles. I'm thinking maybe I'll need to put in some administrative ones as well. And you will also get your NHS profile checklist as well as part of that bonus stuff. So I'm not just going to leave you in the lodge in that kind of session. And for people that then sign up to that masterclass, you would get reduced rates if you need any other services. So I'm thinking of also doing like a mentorship kind of service as well, monthly mentorship that we would do stuff together in terms of your NHS process and all that kind of stuff. So yes, that would come at a reduced rate for people that um, want to sign up to that mentorship sessions. It's not only for nurses; it's clinical roles, yes, but also for admin staff as well. So it cuts across not just clinical. I'm going to talk about clinical and non-clinical role. I think I'll probably need to re-advertise this thing. It's not just for nurses. Nurses, it's transferable in terms of how the profile is written. Whatever I say during the masterclass, it would have to translate to both clinical and non-clinical staff. So yes, it's for it's for everybody. It's for everybody to come into that masterclass and enjoy and learn how best to put yourself in the right space for what's it called for progress into NHS. Because what I say to people that the NHS is the fifth largest employer of labor in the world. There is space enough for you. And the NHS is so generous, and we're such in a dire situation where a lot of people, as much as people are trying to get people in, a lot of people are also leaving the NHS. There is a lot of shortages, a lot of teams are not complete. So you need to ensure that we have the right people. In as much as we're trying to get the right, even as much as we're trying to get people in, we need to make sure that we're getting the right people in. Hi, Mimat. Hello. Thanks for coming. I'm just about to leave. I've been trying to leave this life for a bit now, and people just keep coming in. So yeah, so that masterclass definitely is transferable to um, that masterclass is transferable to clinical and non-clinical team roles. So yes, it would be really jam packed. I'm just looking at my what's it called? I'm looking at yeah, my daughter is accusing me with accusatory eyes. Yeah, and I'm still on this live. So yes, so I'm just looking at all the bonuses that I have put up. So I have the band three statement template, band three interview questions, band fours, band fives. So I have all those in different blocks. So when you do sign up, I'm hoping that I've done it properly. You will tell me what band you're at. So by the time I send you the bonuses, it would be linked to what band you're at and um, what um, what band you're at and what you need for that role that you're trying to get into. So yes, loads of them, loads of that. I think I have up to band six. So I think I just need to do the non doesn't I've added to my work now. Non-clinical ones as well. So I need to check to make sure that I added it in that set. I don't think the person has contacted me yet, me, but you can ask them. I don't think so. Yeah, I was away, so I did say I was going to call you. I'm going to call you tomorrow. I'm not going into work. I'll call you at some time tomorrow. We'll talk. Yeah. So it's it's very very educative. I really want people to come and take advantage of that masterclass because I don't think there's anything been out there. I don't think there's anyone like me on the internet at the moment. Some people might be like me, but they're not really doing what I'm doing in terms of the NHS space, anyways. All the people that, all the people that, sorry about that, all the people that I'm seeing, they have understanding of the NHS, but not people that actually work in HR. So I think that's kind of space. I think I've kind of been able to carve out that niche for myself because most people that are online, they are not HR professionals. They don't understand that from my point of view, where I'm in management, where I do the approvals, where I sit on that panel, where I'm one of the final decision makers really when it comes to checking your references and saying, oh, I still did a reference check for someone today that said, oh, this person has, in the last 2 years, that the person has had 100 and something days of sickness. You need to explain to me what has happened in the last couple of years, why you
Please
had,
don't note on those. When I start my life,
yeah,
I'll invite you for that
yeah,
because that's you stand tall.
yeah,
There's no one like yourself in that area. So
yeah. So I think,
then you take advantage of that, and then on YouTube, this I think TikTok is new for you.
yeah, it's
Just
still, as in, I
get
think
it.
TikTok is not my main platform, and I just go on TikTok to just scroll and scroll most times. YouTube is my main platform that I really tried to grow. It wasn't until my daughters kind of pushed me towards TikTok and just said, okay, let me start growing my TikTok channel and all that. Then I started seeing the benefits, and I would fall back again to my YouTube life and all that. But I think I really need to grow my TikTok. And hence the reason why I said, if you're on this live and you've not followed me, listen, I've not even advertised for them to follow me. Because I've been on a couple of people's live that will say, oh, I'm not going to say anything else until I get to 5,000 hearts or something. I'm not going to, as in, I don't know how to do all that.
I would
Actually,
do that. I think that's the quality of what you're doing will draw the people. So you
yeah.
don't
So,
rest
so I
because
don't,
that's my personal perspective. If I'm starting mine,
yeah,
I'm not going to beg people to you yourself you see the worth of what I'm doing, then
yeah.
you subscribe to it. But that's my policy also.
Yeah, so
So
as in when I tell people, though, oh, you've not subscribed to my live, everybody on my lives, you need to go and subscribe. Well, I need to do better, Mimat. I need to do better. I need to put the topic next time. I would put the topic. I need to. I think I set up this live when I was trying to do when I was trying to do a post. So yes, I think that's what happened with that. Uh, I'll need to try and get used to TikTok. I think I've set myself a goal for this week.
a lot of people, especially with this NHS application.
Okay. I'll try and do that next time. Like tomorrow night, this I was going to come on live, but it's my goddaughter's birthday. I'll try and see if I can. My goddaughter's
You
name
have
has.
to come because you are off tomorrow.
No, I'm not off. I'm working. I'm
From
working from
home.
home. I'm
Oh,
working from
that's fine.
home tomorrow, but I don't come on live when I'm meant to be at work. So within 9 to 5, 9 to 4 or 8 to 4, I wouldn't come online until after I finish work anyway. So, but it's my goddaughter's birthday tomorrow, so I think I'll be recruited to do
So you
some
can
food.
drop it so that Nimas can talk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi,
I'll just be
Nimat.
watching.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, I didn't know you were even live, honestly.
I
I just
know.
wasn't
I
checking.
think I did it this morning. I was like, I was trying to post about the master class. Stop looking at me a minute. Wait. I was trying to post the master class and it was like, oh, put links. I'm like, okay, let me just put this link. And I realized that I've not really been advertising the master class that is meant to be happening next weekend. I'm like, how are people going to come to this master class without me advertising it? I think I messaged you this morning about it. Was it this morning I messaged you?
I think it was this morning you talked about it.
I'm
I'm
like,
not
I'm not
sorry
serious.
over. I think it's the 16th.
Yes. Yes, I think I want to try and come live every day to like maybe the 15th to try and draw people into the live into the master class and try and and draw. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. This entrepreneurship life is it's not easy. I will try to make sure that what's it called, the topics are on the live when I do the next one. I think I've done a link for tomorrow actually, a bit later, but yeah, I'll try and put in the put in the what's it called, the topic. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you everyone that are even still here. Most times when I come on TikTok, I don't get a lot of watchers that I'm like, oh, it's so disappointing and all that, and I leave.
That's the way it is initially, but
Yeah,
they will join.
yeah.
And that's what I was, I said, you need to put out a topic.
Mm.
The passengers, yeah, the passengers, once they're passing by, they will see the topic.
Yeah.
And they can easily, what you do is, this is actually unique.
Mm.
Yeah. I haven't seen anyone who works with HR.
Now, that's what I was saying as well. I don't think there's anybody out there that works in in HR that's really out there that talks about the nitty-gritties, the scoring, the pay, what we're looking for, what we see in the back end things, how we determine our thinking process and all that aspect of things, that inside decision making part of things. I think someone was on here earlier asking about fixed term contracts. Why are the roles always fixed term? And I try to explain funding. Well, it's mostly down to funding in that situation, and not just only the funding for that role. Also, we're looking at what's the implication, not just about the fixed term role. I'm telling the manager that look, if this person is coming from NHS and this person has 5 years of NHS experience, and you offer this person this 1 year fixed term contract, end of this contract, we need to try and look for another job for the person, unless they will be entitled to redundancy at the end of this fixed term contract. So we need to try and calculate how much that one is going to be at the end of this thing. Does the budget allow for that? Why don't you put out this role as a secondment or as a loan role? That's why if you see a lot of civil service roles, they will put secondment loan. That's how they will word it. No one has money to start paying redundancy. And redundancy in civil service is even more generous than the NHS.
Yeah.
So I know about that. So yeah, counting redundancy from that. So
That makes some sense.
yeah, so I think we need to really my back. We need to really put that into perspective, how we think and how we go about applying for jobs. And times of did mention about the advantages of doing those fixed term contract roles, especially if you're independent and you're not constrained to the main one to look for that COS and you're able to move about. It gives you wealth of knowledge. It helps you kind of gain perspective of how different trusts work because how they do things in one trust, even for the same role, will be different from how they do things in another trust. You need to really take that into consideration. And when you're applying for jobs and when you're going for roles, it does give you that advantage as well that you worked here, you worked there. Oh, how do they do things there? Or how do they do things here? When I was moving from my previous role to my current role, my new manager was like, "Tell me when you come in, bring all your policies, bring everything that you can bring, just copy it, and we'll kind of look at what we're doing here. How can we make us better? Or how can what you used to use there, how can we use that to improve what we have? Or is there something that you do there that you would think that would be beneficial to our trust?" And that's how we shape things and that's how we make things better. So it's bringing that wealth of knowledge and transferable skills everywhere that you go. So in my folder, I have a folder of all the trust I've worked, all the stuff that I've taken from them in terms of their templates, in terms of their policies and all that kind of stuff that is useful. I don't think I've taken from, I don't even know how many years ago that I've had that thing. It's this annual leave calculator thing that I've
Wow.
had. Yeah. And I use it for each trust. And it makes things so good. Another thing that I took as well was redundancy calculation as well that I've been carrying from one trust to the other, and I give it to them in that trust when I go. Like, oh, I use this thing. We use it for redundancy calculation, so we don't necessarily have to wait for payroll to help us calculate redundancy. So I just kind of take that with me in every trust, and I just, oh, I have this, and we needed to do redundancy for someone recently. I just told my manager that, oh, I actually have a redundancy calculation. We sent it. We still made the request to payroll to give us the official calculation. We're still waiting for payroll to today. We already know what the money is, and we already started talking about, okay, this is the bulk figure for redundancy and all that. So we're already aware of how much it's going to cost, but still waiting for the official confirmation from payroll, which in most cases maybe a couple of pounds off here and there, but it's not a significant difference because this calculator was being used for a couple of years ago. So in terms of the threshold and the amount of money for the base, it's different, but it's not so far off. We are able to kind of gauge what that amount is going to be. So yes, so those are kind of little things that I do have in terms of if I do speak to my clients, or especially when I'm talking to them about redundancy and we're going through redundancy, which I was in a meeting with another client as well yesterday. I had a session with them. When did I have a session with Uncle? That's right. It was yesterday. No, it was this Thursday. That was the meeting. Tuesday. So I was asking my daughter, he was going through redundancy and all that. And I had that conversation with him. I first spoke to him on the phone, then I had a proper conversation with him before yesterday. Then the meeting was yesterday. And I'm going to be invited to another meeting next week. So that's part of the stuff that I do. And we've kind of started, I've calculated the redundancy package and normal statutory, and then I've done like an enhanced calculation as well to see what the bulk figure of how much you should be expecting from them should be. And we're trying to get some extra money as well. So how to word it properly for him in terms of what he needs to say, how he needs to ask, and all that kind of stuff. So I do that part as well as part of my job because I understand what it entails because that's my normal day-to-day job. So that's back end thing in terms of understanding.
I think would really be interested in this NHS part because from
Same as mine. I managed to get mine to bed.
no no moments.
No worries. So yes, so that masterclass, it's I think if you want to get into the NHS and want to understand the secret and understand what it really means for you to make a perfect application, that masterclass is for you. Right. That's what I wanted to come and talk about before I got sidetracked. I think we talked about my dad at the beginning and my brother. Then we got sidetracked and started bringing up people to ask questions here and there. So yes.
Yeah, let me say this quickly.
Okay.
I think she's a bit quiet now. Normally, do you put you could help people apply to NHS, any NHS trust?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's very good. And secondly, because what I've noticed is NHS is increasing massively now.
I said we are flush for cash. April was just last month. We are flush for cash. We just got new money. So there is money
After
now.
every April, you
Every
just look out for them.
1st of April, we done the
Yeah.
we are balling.
Because to be honest with you, there's a lot of people I know within the community, they
Yeah.
just keep calling me, oh, me, have I got an NHS job? There's sponsoring.
Yep.
God, I've got an NHS job, there's sponsoring. And especially with people who had the opportunity to go on the MBQ3 class, use that at
Good.
this point in time. Even for some of them whose results started to be held, they had to mount pressure. We really needed the
Yeah.
So that's what I've just noticed lately that a lot of people, and for the past 3 weeks now, 3 weeks, it's just been,
Back to back.
back to back week. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Because nothing gives you joy.
Oh no.
And when you see people, they give a testimony about how they secure the job, blah 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 blah. Me, I even know someone. She's done over 300 applications, and fortunately, she recently got an NHS job, and She was so overwhelmed.
I can't
I had
imagine.
someone, I had about going to 20 now on this company,
Hmm.
and some of where people are not really breaking the news or sharing the news
Yeah,
yet. Once their, applications
we go
and
through
get
because we
their visa
still we
granted.
still tend to pull application, or we still tend to pull um, offers, even though we've offered you a job. If something is not right in your
Exactly.
certification, if you've lied that you have this thing, and we would request those certificates, and they have to be genuine. There are ways for us to
Exactly.
check to make sure that they're genuine certificates. So if
Mhm.
you say overinflate yourself and they've asked for care certificates or NVQ level 3 and you have the other one
Mhm.
and you cannot produce it, where you haven't said in progress, where you've said that is already in hand,
In
but not in
hand.
progress, that way I would definitely tell them to cancel that offer.
Mm. Much.
Yeah,
Yes, I thought too much. I'm so happy
yeah,
because that's one of my prayers
yeah,
that when you come on course with me, I take sit down. You had desire. You come on this course, and I just hope and pray that this course gives you the opportunity
yeah. That you've
you're
paid for.
looking for,
Yeah.
and it's just been back to back testimonies.
Oh, that's
And
good.
this is what I say to people: if you can't write the NHS applications or the supporting statements, get someone who's very experienced in
Yeah.
this to help you. And there is no crime committed here, to be
No,
honest.
there isn't.
Like when you're going for the interview, get people yourself. People should get people like yourself who can coach them on how to answer interview questions. There is no crime in this. Rather than you doing loads and loads of applications and you're getting, unfortunately, honestly, just like Common Light, talk about
Yeah.
as well. She's very experienced in
Yeah.
this field. We've got quite a number of people who's got great experience in this on how to write a supporting
Yeah.
statement. And we've had a lot of, because it's all about we as communities, the community. We are building something together.
Yeah.
However, one thing that makes you stand out again is the fact that you are actually an HR person.
Mm.
You understand? So you know the in and out
Yeah.
of how this thing is. That's one good thing
Yeah.
about you. It's okay. He talked about the five stars. The other thing we had live.
Oh, the star answers.
Stars answer. You know me, I'm not like you guys.
How to structure it properly. How to
Talked
structure
about.
your
I've had
answer.
Omola talked about it as well. I've had talked about it. Prep yourself on how to answer questions like this. Even your communication skills
Mm.
really matters when it comes to this interview process.
Eye contact.
Eye contact.
Your
It really
smile.
matters.
Your
Yeah, you
smile
have to smile.
matters.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if I gave this example during, sorry to cut you off. I'm not sure if I gave this example about this person that came for an interview and she would not look up. She would not look up. I'm guessing she has some sort of um neurodiversity or some stuff, some disability and all that, but she would not look up. And if you're in a client facing role, you need to be able to look at your clients. You need to be able to look at your patients. You need to be able to look at people that you're talking to and your staff. It's that kind of behavior. It takes a lot to get used to. If you're working in a non-client facing role, maybe yes, it's fine. Maybe you're working in IT level one or some kind of thing that you're only on the phone. It's fine, but not when you're working in a client facing role. And the manager then and there, she was like, "Oh, Temi, I don't even care if she's the best candidate during this interview. I am not taking this person. How am I meant to be able to communicate with this person? I cannot. So just those little gestures. And one other thing is that when you go for interview, sometimes you're not even being judged by the panel. You are being judged by the rest of the people in our team. Maybe the person that comes to pick you up from the door, maybe they said one thing there and you didn't respond. And in that
Yeah,
team,
that's very true.
they like very jokey kind of person. This person is not going to fit in. Mm-mm. We don't want that. You've already been judged before you even started. You've never said hello to the panel. They've already said no. So you can be the best person on the day, and they'll say no. They will just
That's very true, actually, because the person who pick up from the reception, sometimes you climb maybe two steps
yeah,
or be in the lift,
yep,
and you need to communicate, smile,
yeah,
be at ease.
yeah,
They ask you, how was your trip? Oh,
yes,
very well, thank you. How have you been?
yeah,
You've been eating all day. I will just involve in communicating with
yes,
that with a lot of smiles.
yes.
Yeah,
It's the
just to
eye
give an
contact.
impression.
Yes, those are the little things that would be part of your interview, whether you like it or not. For them to be able to say, oh, this is the right person, this person would fit well with the team. Like this interview that we did today, we interviewed one person. That person, the demeanor of that, I think that we're going to give the person this job. I keep talking about this person. This is the interview for today. The demeanor of this person was just so calm, so nice. Then the next person that now came after that, as in the volume of their voice was high. They were like, the rest of my colleagues on the panel was like, it was like night and day, kind of that this other person, I think I would prefer to work with this person. The voice was very soothing, very calming, doesn't sound very aggressive, kind of kind of voice and all that. So it's little things. Even though in the
And
scoring,
some of us trust,
yeah,
some of us trust because I've had a couple of people work for the
yeah,
ago.
yeah,
They had to write a written assessment.
yeah,
Yeah, a written assessment. It's according to her, she said, I think it's some basic math, English. Then later after that, then they have the
yeah,
section. I think they had to qualify a number of people that was the and they had to put them into sections.
yeah,
Some of them, she started her internet about 8 a.m. in the morning.
yeah,
Some had less, 10. So when I had my conversations with her,
yeah,
and she said, "Oh, we have to 8 a.m." I was like, "Wow, why are you?" And a person who with her said, "It's one of the best time advisable you go for
okay.
because by the time you choose the section,
Tired.
most places they would have taken you tired, you know, you know, first out, kind of."
Yeah. I'm already tired by, as in my, even my writing, you will see it when I'm in my writing of my the responses, it's not as detailed and not very memorable. At the beginning, as in I'm gingered, I will ask you follow-up questions. I would prompt you more at the beginning, as in at the end, I'm like, just answer the question like, and let's hurry up, hurry up. I need to get out of here. I will not even prompt you as much as I will, which is actually true. I'll not prompt you as much as I'll have prompted the first couple of people. It's true. My colleague was like, tell me, what did you write in this thing? Like, you know what, Rosalind, I cannot even understand what I wrote here. So yeah. Oh, thank you. As in, I can't even remember what I actually wrote in this part of my of the story sheet. So in that kind of situation, I think yeah, at the beginning it's very good, and sometimes it's also very nitpicky as well. If you take the first slots because they are watching everything, we have more power, we have more interest. Where it's still fresh, it's still the morning, and we're trying to yeah, okay, let's see what these people have to offer. Kind of yeah. So it really depends. I think safe point, maybe not the first one, maybe the second slot might be the better slot.
All
Yeah,
right.
because the first one, I'm very on it, as in I'm very, as in I'm still awake. Everybody on the panel is still very into it. By 1 o'clock, I'm already tired. By 1 o'clock, I
But
was
when you're very good at what you do,
you.
the
Yes,
first the first set will be really good because
yeah,
your confidence of
mm,
yourself, you know what you're going to be talking about.
yeah,
Your T's are all dotted.
yeah.
Yeah, I believe. But if you know that you're an average person, you know that you better go for the second slot.
But the thing about the NHS interviews and how we do our, depending on the role, anyways, how we do the selection of the timing is first come first serve. Sometimes it's automatic. So if we put like we put in a time window, when we are sending out invites to people to come for interviews, so maybe we have 10 people that we're going to invite. We're already putting the time window between 8 and 4. And we've already said, okay, each interview session is going to be 45 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever minutes. Then we should start from 8, 8 to 8:30. Then we'll put in a break, maybe 10 minutes break. Then the next one will be 8:50 or 8:40 or something like that to the next 30 minutes. Then we'll put in those little breaks in between. So if once we send out those emails to people and it's an automatic selection process, um, sorry, and there's an automatic selection process, whenever whoever happens to enter that interview first, whatever the first slot is there is automatically given to you. So sometimes you don't even get to pick what slot you're given. It's automatically given. But sometimes you get to pick in terms of these are all the slots that are available. Pick what time you like. So it depends on how they want to do it. The automatic one, I think I prefer the automatic ones because it then helps you kind of block out gaps and so that you don't have too many gaps in between. Because if you have like a time window and it's not everybody that picks the slots or some people end up dropping out and all that, you don't have much gaps between your time and you can tend to finish a bit earlier for interview.
Wow. Wow, wow,
Who is
wow,
this
wow.
person? Very good. We understand what Imat was trying to say. It was like dot TK. Yeah, we understood what she was trying to say. We understood. Don't worry. So yes.
Oh
Um
no, not the high. In this case, it's the T.
yes, I we,
You got the T
yeah.
and you cross the high.
We understand. Don't worry. We understand. Yeah.
Cross the high.
Is it?
No, no, no. I'm just in the case of any
Oh Lord, yeah.
when it gets to that point,
We're
you
a
have to
special breed. We're a special breed. Even the civil service is even more intricate. It's even more intricate with the civil service. That one is a baba in terms of how I got into the civil service. It just was by chance and by luck. And yeah, I've not been back ever since.
mm,
Yeah.
wow.
I love my
So what time are you
NHS.
coming on tomorrow? Coming live
I need
tomorrow.
to check. I think I'm gonna speak to my goddaughter's mom, my friend. She's called me like a couple of times already. 'Cause I think I've been roped into doing some chicken or something. So and I think I need to kind of get food as well from one of these places. So I think I've been roped in for that. So I'm gonna hopefully I'm thinking around 9. I'm hoping to come on around 9. Or maybe when the kids are having their party, I'll see if I can sneak out. Sorry.
9 in the morning or in the evening.
In the evening. I'm working at 9 in the morning. Tomorrow is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So that time I'll be working.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's nice.
yeah, I'll try and come on tomorrow. Hopefully I'll try and see if I've done the live thing again. And I'll try and start advertising more of the masterclass as well.
Yeah, not to cut.
Yeah,
This thing just came to mind. Normally in the application,
yeah.
when you are already in NHS, that it's something, something, so that they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that then. Why do they still come back to ask you for anything? Why do they really do that? Is it for your past references that the
No,
first draft
we're
got?
doing that to amalgamate our service years.
Oh, that's the purpose.
Yes,
That's all.
yes.
Okay.
To amalgamate your service years, it kind of brings up your sickness stuff as well, and in terms of your ESR records. So that just helps us transfer your profile easily into the new trust.
And
So
the banding.
yes, we can check your banding as well in that because it's the ESR system that is used by the whole of the NHS. So we can just transfer service history so easily that way.
Yeah, because I thought maybe the occupational health too would not matter, but I think it's like every house is the occupational health system.
Yeah, we have different ones. I think the only way that what you can do, especially if you've done your mandatory training, You can bring some of them from your previous trust into your new trust. You just
Yeah, but
request it.
that is in the Excel form because you know normally in the elements of the trust, different trust,
Yeah.
you don't normally have the certificate, but you have the Excel record sheets.
Yes, and you can always ask from the L&D department to send it to you as well. They will send it to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've emailed my previous occupational health certificate to them, but I know they will definitely ask you to go to the lab and do
Depends on what they're trying to do in terms of your occupational health. So some testing, if you've just done some vaccinations recently and they can see the records from that
Oh
trust,
yes,
then you wouldn't need to do it again, especially since you're it's within the NHS and it won't be a hospital that will have done it for you anyways. Depending on where you're based, it will be a hospital that have done it and will have those records as well. So it's always quite easy that way, especially if you've done work within an NHS organization. It's easier for you. Is for new people that, especially people that come from Nigeria, or come from other countries, Ghana, um, from Sierra Leone, and all those places. These are where most of my clients come from, anyways. So they don't have like maybe TB certificate or yellow fever or tuberculosis. Yeah, that's the TB. They don't have those records, so they will need to do it again, and sometimes it takes a while for those records to come out. So yeah.
Okay, so does the NHS do this test for them to a center to have this done?
So it depends on the trust. If it's an acute trust and they have that service in-house, we'll do it within the hospital. If they have occupational health service in a separate from they pay for occupational health separately. Why do they waste their time doing it in the hospital for you when they already paid for the service? So they'll just do it for you through the occupational health because that's a separate service that they pay for to do all those testing.
Yeah, I wanted to say that it's quite expensive and you have to do it yourself.
No, you don't pay for anything. They wouldn't ask you to pay for it. No. The
So you
NHS
just
we absorb
book
that
a
cost.
time and then
Yeah. It's every one of the people that uses something that was on here at the beginning. I think I think she's waiting for some operational health testing to be done.
I guess it's because it's an entry level,
Yeah,
the first time in the
yes,
NHS.
yes. And she hasn't followed up in terms of kind of letting them see that
Give
oh,
it time.
they've not called me since. So we need to know what's delaying and why haven't they called you for that amount of time. I think it's been a couple of months. And I think that's where our application process has stopped. And she too, she hasn't decided to call them, she hasn't chased up and all that. But maybe they are dealing with more than 100 live cases at the moment. If you're not chasing them, they would forget you. They'll forget you. So you need sometimes you need to be proactive as well. You need the job to start as soon as possible. You need to be proactive by disturbing them. Yeah, that's what it is.
She's already started the job.
I don't know. I think she didn't say. I don't think she wasn't ready. I think she's ready, but she doesn't know. You know, when you're new to the country and you don't know your rights, you don't know what can I ask for. I don't want to be too forward. I don't want them to kind of receive the offer because I'm disturbing their kind of situation. I'm guessing maybe that apprehension kind of feeling. I think that's what I'm guessing. That's why she hasn't yet chased them. But I've told her she needs to chase. You need to know that we can't just give you we can't just rescind an offer from you. Once we've offered you a job, we can't just rescind it without giving you a good reason as to why we're rescinding the offer. Even for reference, if you fail referencing, we'll give you the reason as to why you failed reference. And we might even give you an opportunity to check, see if we can rectify that reference for before we kind of fully rescind it. So if it's
Oh,
some
share with me any the excuses you tangible ones you give for references. Out of that.
so for example, like I said, if the role requires MVQ and you only have a care certificate, and we requested for you to provide your MVQ level, whatever one that we requested in the job in the person specification and in the adverts, and we specifically say that's an essential criteria, and you don't have it, but you said in your application that you had it, and because we don't check prior to interview, we base it based on what's written in your application. Only then, when you then do the interview and you're successful and we offer you the job, fine. We start doing the reference checks. And we now request that NVQ, level three, level four, level five, level six from you. And you only provide us with your care certificate. We then ask you, where is the NVQ? I say, oh, I don't have it. That is more than enough grounds for me to rescind my offer. Or if you are asked for the last couple of years reference from you and you give me the reference, but firstly, I cannot find the company's website that you've worked. I cannot call the person that is on the telephone number, the email address, or the way they've written the reference to me doesn't sound right. It sounds like bogus, kind of things. There's so many things that we look out for in terms of how you respond. What email address did you use to respond from, and all that kind of stuff. We check all that. What else? Um, we might look at sickness records as well in terms of, do we have the appetite to manage your sickness? If in the last 1 year, in your previous job, you've had, out of 365 days, you've had 360 days of sickness absence, um, chances of you getting that job is very slim, because I do not have the strength. The manager will be telling me, I do not have the strength to manage this person's sickness. Why were you sick? Maybe stress. I do not have the strength. You're going to stress me out and make me myself go on sick for the next 1 year. You have to really give real good reason as to why you're not going to be able to continue with that. For especially with sickness, you need to really give us good reason as to why you've been sick. You can't just tell me, oh, I didn't just feel like going to work, or it was stress. What stressed you out? What happened in that organization that stressed you out that you didn't go to work for nearly a year? You need to explain to me. Or did
Because
we?
that means that someone knows that they're employer is them a good reference, don't just use them.
But how would you cover that gap? Because we would ask you for gaps.
That's
We
true.
would we would need to cover the gap at least the last 3 years.
Very correct.
We would need to cover the gap, and whatever you put on your profile, you need to have good references for them. So this is part of the master program. You need to have good references for them, because we're going to ask for everybody on that on your profile.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah. So that's part of the back end bits of things of you understanding whatever you write on that profile, you need to be able to back it up. So in as much as I write supporting statements for people, I would never myself go into your track and write it on there. I don't do that. I'll, I'll provide you a file. I'll send it to you and I'll deliver it to you. Then I would always tell you, read it and make sure that it sounds like you. It aligns with everything that you've done. If I've added, maybe I've embellished too much, you would know. Because if you've told me before that, oh, I can only carry 5 kg, and in your supporting statement, I'll say, no, I can carry 25 kg. And you now submit it without reading it, even though you told me you can only carry 55, and I've written 25 there for you. I accept, which I don't know, but just an example. And during the interview, and the interviewing or the recruiting manager says, oh, Mimat, I see that you've written that you can carry 25 kg. Wow. How can you carry that 25 kg? It's really impressive. Can you explain to me how that has happened? Then you start to um but if you've read it before you submitted, you would have known that there's made a mistake in what she's written in this thing, and I need to correct it.
Yeah, we have a question from Favored. Is asking how many years work experience you included in an application for a band place.
I think for a band three, that's around the entry level position. 2 years would be good. Would give you enough solid foundation. If you have only 1 year, it's still fine. So at least you have a knowledge and you can interpret whatever you're able to do in that role. But at least 2 years experience within that field, we should put you in a very good standing. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Sometimes I miss all these questions sometimes. Oh my goodness.
I will just add that nothing should deter you, even if it's 1 year, 8 months,
Yeah.
because most sometimes you never know how they are finding to fill that position and they are not getting anybody, and so you just put in your application for. I remember I had one guy from Italy
Mm.
who I gave one of my rooms to stay with me,
Mm.
and it wasn't 6 months he was a Nigerian, just by how you structure the application, how desperate this NHS trust was for mental health support workers. He was able to get one.
And
So
that's true. But in
you
terms
just
of the
structure,
transferable skills as well, because you wouldn't have known
yeah,
all the other things that they put into his application, even though he is maybe he only has 6 months experience in the UK. What if he has experiences from Italy as a
yeah,
mental
yeah.
health?
That's what I'm talking. Yeah,
Yeah. It's not only UK experience, and that's one of the things I do for people in terms of looking at your profile. What have you done in wherever home country you're
yes,
coming from that you can have as transferable skills into the role that you're doing? So, for example, like those healthcare assistant people, carers and all that kind of thing, caring for your family, caring for your grandma, caring for your auntie that went to hospital, helping them to carry them, caring for children. Those are caring responsibilities, and that's caring roles that you've done that you can
definitely.
transfer. And say you were employed by your auntie, that your auntie now becomes a limited liability company that he's Auntie Salah hospice or something. That's her company name. And what you did in that place was if your clients that needed to be moved from here to there, looking after her bath and washing and all that kind of stuff, which you normally do. Carrying responsibilities as a parent as well. It's more than enough valuable experience and transferable skills to look after somebody else. So it's,
And
in most
there
cases,
was
it's how you
one
word it
funny thing is
on
that,
your.
especially when they said they were only looking for male. So when they categorize it, it's
That's
already checked as
positive discrimination. We do that sometimes when we do some positive discrimination and we highlight that and we need to and they justify that to HR as to the reason why we need to be quite specific in terms of the wordings we do on some adverts because we might end up getting in trouble in terms of that discrimination aspect of things. Because if we are not given a reason as to why you are looking for a particular set of people, you might say, okay, we only want black people or we only want white people because of this. That is the reason. I would have to put that on the advert. Now, for your person, that guy, they wanted male people, maybe because they were going to be in a male intensive word, was a male dominated environment where in the past there has to be justification for that as well. In the past, that they've employed women in that space, maybe they've been
I think they
um,
write in the advert the reasons I should.
yeah. In most cases, we wouldn't write the reason in there. We wouldn't write the
No,
reason. We would just
they make a statement like, unfortunately, they are, because of something, they just want male
yeah,
people for that.
yeah. It's not in all cases that they would put the reasoning in there, as long as HR, mainly HR, really has approved that.
Yeah,
You're
it's good to
fine.
go.
It's good to go. It's good to go in that sense. Guys, I really need to leave. I need to. I think my daughter she needed my laptop.
I think tomorrow I'm going to ask you a question, which is very, very
Okay.
important. But let's leave it.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate everyone for staying for the last 2 hours. Oh my goodness, even my battery is telling me I need to get off this live. For
Thank
staying for
you.
the last 2 hours, I really appreciate you guys for coming. If you want the link to the masterclass, please send me a message and I'll send you the link to pay for the masterclass. The masterclass is £80. I've said I'm not going to be hiding how much I charge for it. It's discounted because we're going to be starting this masterclass. The masterclass prices are going to go up later on. So for the moment, it's still £80 for the masterclass. If you want to sign up for the masterclass, it's on 16th at 7 o'clock. It's about 2 hours of masterclass. You get three different bonuses at the end of that masterclass that will be very useful to you in whatever role that you're applying for. So, if you want to be part of the masterclass, please send me a message because unfortunately, I still don't have up to 1,000 subscribers on my TikTok that I can start putting my link directly to my Stand Star. Send me a message here and I will send you the link to go and purchase the masterclass. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. And I hope to see you guys on the 16th for the masterclass. Have a good evening, everybody. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it for tonight. Thank you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Bye. Bye, everybody. Have a good evening. And thank you so much for being with me from the start to the end of this masterclass of this live. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh my goodness, Ugo, I just saw you now. And I'm about to leave. Hi, have a blessed evening. Um, Let me just turn off this one at everybody. No one really asked the question on YouTube, but I will be back tomorrow, and I will try and put up like a reminder or like a post to kind of let you guys know what time I would be on live. So yes, thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a blessed evening. And the masterclass would be on the 16th, and the link to the masterclass is I think I'll put it here actually. Let me put the link to the masterclass on YouTube. At least you guys on YouTube can see it. Um, so this one. Hold on. I'll put the link to the masterclass on the chat for YouTube. So yes, you guys can see it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you. And have a blessed evening, everybody. That's the link to the masterclass. And I hope to see you guys soon. Yeah. Have a blessed evening. See you guys